creative concrete contest.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the next slide, please. I think that probably amongst most of the panelists that are going to be here today, and a lot of you that are in the room, my story might be a little bit different. When I came across Christine's path a year and a half ago, I was actually involved with my original business, the one that I started back in 2003 called Tiger Mountain Innovations. This was my mission, my purpose, my heart, my soul. It was the thing that got me going and became an entrepreneur. I had written an economics paper about local economies based on Michael Schuman's book, Going Local. And the intention was developing a product that could be manufactured in any community in the United States by using locally derived resources. And my product was called Squaw Mountain Stone. And it used here recycled paper that I got from a nonprofit called Outwork out in Issaquah, which is an organization that provides jobs to our citizens in our community with disabilities. I used granite dust originally from a monument company up in the North End in Seattle called Quiring. I changed that over to glass because it was a healthier product, a recycled glass product that I then got from a company down in Kent. I originally started with Portland cement, which is a locally manufactured material, but I changed a couple of years into it to low carbon cement so that the CO2 emissions that come from Portland cement are very high. Low carbon cement is a third of that, and it was so I made a decision based on local versus ecologically and environmentally preferred. And in 2008, after being in this for about 5 years, the economy crashed. I don't know if any of you guys knew that. If you work in the building materials industry, you were hit particularly hard. My distributors that I had set up over the course of those years, I ran my business by myself. I was the sole owner of this business. I had an amazing group of young men that I'd hired, and many that I had to fire, but many stayed on as well. But it was a challenge, being a woman running a manufacturing company and being a mentor to, 20-something-year-old guys. But it was a lot of fun, and I cherished every moment that I had, honestly. By 2008, though, it was pretty dire. And my phone rang in November. When I talk to people about my story, I always make sure to clarify that I'm not the author. I really don't believe that. I'm that character. This is a book that I picked up a few years ago and started reading and found myself in the pages of this book. And in 2008, I thought my hero would walk in the door. And so I was very excited that this new character was in my life. Unfortunately, it turned out to be the villain. And in a process of 2 years, and I'm sorry, this is really emotional for me, the heart, the soul, the purpose of my mission was gone. And it was only 2 weeks after I actually spoke at the Valley Conference, the Business Alliance for Local Living Economies, and I knew when I was there that I was really kind of giving my swan song. So you walk away from something that you've been driven and committed to doing for years. At this point, it was 70 years of my life. And then it's not there anymore, and you have to walk away. So that's different, I think, on this panel. So I found myself living on a farm up in Snohomish County with a friend, and deciding if there was a distinction between SWAP and TMI and amee, and if this was something that I was really ready to get back into again. Now, when I closed the book and I put it down and decided to walk away, at the very end, a character had evolved and come into my life. His name was Artie Sandoval. And I wasn't sure if I was really ready to read this book again and get back involved. So I spent a few months getting to know Artie, thinking about what it was that I wanted to do, whether or not I was going to be a bartender, because the money's good. And I did it, it was fun. If I was going to just change my career altogether. And it takes some time when you've been emotionally devoted and consumed. And that's a word that I've used a lot when I talk with entrepreneurs, that you are consumed by your idea, and that's how you bring it to life. In much the same way that I brought my own children to life, consumed with the idea of being a mother. And at some point in time over the course of the end of 2011, that fire and that passion came back. Because I started to pull out old notebooks, I started to look at some of the great ideas that I had that I lost when I got into this other business relationship, and realized that I did have a vision, and I didn't get to do all that, and I wanted to be back involved with that again. And as I communicated some ideas to Artie, and my partner Artie is from the concrete, but from a different world. And we started to talk about these amazing synergies that could happen between the green and the interior world, and his involvement with a company that some of you may know called Eldorado Stone, which was a large, $100 million, $200 million a year concrete business that he wasn't involved with anymore, but had that history there. Then we got really excited, and at the end of 2011 in December, we actually started Creative Concrete Concepts. And so I'm an entrepreneur all over again, and so that's a different story there. You can go to the next slide. We decided that we wanted to bring our experiences together. But this time around, I had the benefit of knowing what I didn't want to do again. I had the benefit of being able to take control over some things that I thought were lacking. I got to be an innovator again. And so we have built a business together that is founded in, again, sustainable elements to it, being profitable. The 3 precepts of sustainable business, people, planet, and profits. I mean, the same things that you all are committed to. Is there anybody that's going to raise their hand and say they're not into that here today? I mean, that's a given. But we're new and we're fresh. And the first thing that I got to do, and I got to do it with Artie, is a line of titles called Agrestal. And agrestal means agrarian, it means rustic, it means rural, and it was an homage to spending 4 months in the wilderness or the wilds of the farm. And so it's a line of tiles with textures that no one's ever seen before, inspired by some of the things that you see out on the farms. Like rivet is one of our most popular ones here. We're in the process of launching this right now at the moment, so I mean this is new. But when I started C3 with Artie, the other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to attack the area of recycled content, because it really hadn't been kind of dove into. It's not a sexy part of construction. The aggregates that go into it. Everybody thinks about the end product. They want. I was lucky. Squawk Mountain Stone still on TV. It's still on the DIY network, HGTV. I was featured in Popular Mechanics for Best in Green Design in 2008. Squawk was voted the Reader's Builder Magazine's top 50 products in 2010. So there was a lot of great things and a lot of success, but yet in recycled aggregates, particularly in the concrete world, they're really limited. And last year I had an opportunity to talk to the Washington State Recyclers Association, and I said I think the real innovation in this market isn't in creating the cool product on the end that ends up in the magazine, but it's actually in getting the raw materials flowing into this so that the talented designers have access to those resources and can do something with them. And so there's a small business growing up in Snohomish. It's called Evergreen Specialty Aggregates, and it's a partner with C3 with the idea of sourcing and creating these new aggregates that are, deconstruction debris and stuff like that, so that C3 can make products that are not only just amazing and beautiful, but also have, different materials in it that are not common and not seen before. And so this is a new chapter. This is a book and a story that's unfolding right now. And so, like I said, I don't have a bazillion slides for this because it's going on right at the moment. So, I think the thing that I can share probably is, I can talk about concrete if you want, ask questions, I love it. I am a geek, but I think that in a room like this, as women that are embarking, on their passions and their projects, be aware that not only are there just challenges every day, but sometimes there are some profound challenges where you have to make some real decisions that could still hurt a year later. So, and I'm happy to talk about those things, otherwise I wouldn't be sitting up here with the blower in front of you. So, that's who I am.
As well as the trial and tribulations of being an entrepreneur and helping to start organizations and really seeing